1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 babies and mom. She's looking pretty healthy for a snake that just gave birth too. Look at her, looking around for her babies. Good morning, everybody. I think we're finally getting towards the backside of this hurricane and or tropical storm, and I think the next couple of days we're going to be drying out a little bit, and we should have some really good fall herping. But I think today's going to be a little bit soggy, but I'm going to give it a shot anyways. We have our first find here. Nice looking box turtle in the road. It looks like this guy had some kind of encounter with something that messed up his shell there, but otherwise seems to be doing okay considering. Young turtle, definitely not quite mature yet, but we'll get this little guy out of the road. Nice start to the day. It's actually been a while since we've seen a box turtle in the road. Hey, there's our copperhead. It's been a while. That one actually, that might be a different snake. It looks bigger than the one we're used to seeing under this piece. But then again, that is a pretty big copperhead, so maybe it's just grown a little bit. See if we can get a prop going. This board doesn't have much texture. It's a little tough. There we go. Came out in the open a little bit. Here's one more look at him before we leave him alone. He is a little bit close, so I'm gonna step back. He's entering freak out mode now. That is a good looking snake though. Really pretty copperhead. Kind of looks like it's about to go into shed potentially too. Man, that's a nice snake. Copperheads are really underrated. All right, dude. I'm gonna let him go out the back there and then we'll put the board back. Now this is what we like to see. We've got a nice assortment of fall flowers starting to bloom. This is some kind of blazing star, Liatris. Really, really pretty flower. Tends to grow in places that are very snaky. Why is the butterfly milkweed blooming in September? Look at this guy, he's handsome. Man, the woods look good today. A little bit of fall color, but otherwise nice and green still. Hasn't started looking sad yet, it just looks vibrant. There's lots of flowers blooming. Just a good time to be outside. Well guys, it is rapidly turning into one of those first snake of the day is the last snake of the day situations. I do still have a fair bit to flip at this spot, and then I'm gonna hit one last spot that we haven't flipped in a long time after this. And really the weather has not improved any since this morning. If anything, it's gotten a little bit wetter and windier. Hopefully the climb up that hill was worth it for this piece of tin that I have only ever found racers under. Come on, baby. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That is a fresh litter of baby timbers. Holy crap. That's mom, obviously. And here is a bunch of beautiful little babies that haven't even shed yet. That right there is probably the birthing fluid. That's crazy how fresh these are. Incredible. I really thought we were going to end this season without getting any good video of baby rattlesnakes, but that just changed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 babies and mom. She's looking pretty healthy for a snake that just gave birth too. Look at her, looking around for her babies. What you doing, mom? I don't mean you any harm, I promise. I'm just here to look. She is worried about me though. All right, well, we got what we came for, seeing these babies, but I think it's best to just cover these guys back up for now. I'm gonna get a couple quick pictures and then we'll leave this awesome scenario right here, how we found it. That is incredible. So a little context now that we have flipped the tin and seen what was under it. This is a very, very remote piece of tin that I drug a long way from some pretty poor habitat that I found it in down in the valley where it's very wet and shady. And drug it up here onto this ridge top. You can see mostly pine dominated, so it's a little more open than the hardwood valley. This is the first time I've seen a timber rattlesnake under it, and there's a mom with babies, and that's kind of exactly what I was hoping to find under this piece. That and a northern pine snake. But honestly, I was really expecting timber rattlesnakes and hoping for a pine snake. It's not great pine habitat, but it's also really not bad at all either. It's kind of an isolated piney ridge top, so there's not a lot of other good places within a mile or so of here for a pine snake to hang out other than this particular ridge. And if you'll recall, a few weeks ago, we actually found a very early batch of babies hanging out with mom under a rock shelf. Actually, there were 2 adults under there and a batch of babies, so at least 1 litter, possibly more, but those babies have already shed and dispersed. And these babies were so recently born, the fluid from being birthed was still under the tin. So those snakes are certainly less than a couple of days old. If I had to guess, I'd say that they were born within the last 48 hours. First flip of the day had a copperhead, and possibly the last flip had 10 rattlesnakes under it. I actually do have a couple more pieces I'm gonna check here, and then we're gonna go check one more spot on the way home. I still have goosebumps 30 minutes later. That was actually so cool. All right, guys, we're at our last spot for the day. This area is a lot more suburban, and it doesn't have as many species or as high of quality habitat, but it can be good for some reliable flips. There's a couple of pieces of tin here that usually have something when the weather is good, so we shall see if that's the case today. Well, it took me embarrassingly long to notice this guy, the big rat snake right here. I'm gonna grab him before he gets away. Well, evidently I'm not going to do that because there's a big hole right there that he was halfway down, and he slurped down it the second I touched him. All right, this is ridiculous. The rat snake was there, and right there is a hognose. Holy crap. That is kind of ridiculous. The rat snake was right there, and then just coiled up right here like it's springtime, a black phase eastern hognose snake. Holy crap. I'm gonna get some in situ pics. It is not very often we get to see an eastern hognose snake just coiled up like this. This rainy, cloudy weather has been awesome today. Not many snakes, but the ones we have seen have been very quality. And this is a rare opportunity to just find and leave a hognose how we found it. I don't see really any need to mess with this guy, so... Oh, he's gonna hiss at us a little. He's already getting grumpy, so... We'll try to leave him undisturbed. That is so cool. Usually when we find these guys, they're actively crossing a road or something. We just don't get to see them chilling, doing their thing like this very often. That is so awesome. A ringneck and a toad. Come here, buddy. The toad's way down there, but our first common snake of the day. Well, I say common. I mean, our first ubiquitous species of the day that normally we would expect to see a lot of, but for some reason, have not. This is the only one. Ringnecks are not super common at this spot, though. I see a few, but don't expect them. I'll just let this guy go. All right, just flipped this guy under the last piece of cover that I've never found a snake under, so I didn't even bother turning the GoPro on. But second rat snake at this spot, this time a smaller, dark one. I guess the first one was pretty dark too. Hey, buddy. I'm chill. I'm chill. I'm friend. I promise. Very nice looking snake, though, as always. I'll just get a quick voucher shot of this guy and we'll put him back. But nice snake to end the day on. Really good numbers today. I cannot believe how well today went. Although I was kind of expecting to find something cool today. I just didn't think it was going to be so many snakes of decent quality and a couple of really, really good ones too. But I probably will call it after this, just walk back to the car, and if I see anything, obviously I'll stop. But if not, I might pick this up tomorrow, or actually I'll probably pick it up next time we go back and check on those baby timbers, hopefully after they've shed. This is getting ridiculous. There's another rat snake, this time a huge one, stretched out right there. I'm just trying to go back to the car. Look at this thing. Y'all are gonna have to pardon how sweaty and gross I am because I've been at this all day, but I did want to show you with a little bit of scale just how big this rat snake is. Hey, buddy. Look at this. Absolute unit. Please don't bite me on the face. I'm friend. There's a nice tree. I got you. And up he goes. Good luck out there, dude. Oh, we got a herping pup today. Water break. And Sully. Sully hasn't been on the channel since like, I don't know, Alterna time in 2020.
My goal today is to make Noah have to bleep out as much of this video as possible.
Well, I think if we find a timber, that'll probably come to fruition. So today we are actually going to check up on the baby timbers for the first time. Hopefully we're not too late. I think there's definitely a chance we are. But either way, hopefully we'll at least see some snakes. So we got a long walk, and I will update you guys if we find anything. First find of the day, a nice box turtle. Just chilling. All right, first flip of the day. Little ring neck, nothing crazy. We'll leave him right there. All right, we're approaching the 10 here. I feel like if they had dispersed, we would be seeing sheds, but oh, there's one.
I don't even see the sheds.
They're like right there. There he is. He's pretty. It's crazy how big they are when they're born. Keep an eye out. There could be another one or two under here.
Hard before I step.
So today is October 2nd. It's been about 2 weeks since we found these babies. And there appears to be one left. And there's the sheds from all the others. Mom's long gone. And we'll check this area and see if we can find any around here, but they have probably pretty much dispersed by now. All right, well, there it is, the last baby standing. We unfortunately got here late, as I was kind of worried about. It is October, and seeing a baby timber at the gestation site in October is very, very weird in and of itself. They normally, and like I said when we found them, September 15th is a really late date for a fresh clutch of babies. So I think we got kind of lucky to see one here today. I'm just glad we got at least one. But it's always weird when there's always one straggler, it seems like, that's hanging out a little bit longer than all the others. And this thing is like, he's so healthy, so fat, almost, we were talking about, like, it almost looks like he's eaten something already. So maybe he did actually get a meal under there, and that's why he's still there. But we'll get some quick shots of this guy, let him go back under his tin, and then we have a couple more things to flip, and then we're gonna go cruise for pygmies. So there he goes.
I think I've only ever flipped.
That's what it's all about right there. Yeah, that one's gonna have to move, I think. It doesn't get enough sun. What's that? Red-bellied snake. That I just cannot seem to catch. It was on top of the log under the tin. Surely the first of many we'll see tonight.
Pale belly.
Yeah, kind of pale on the front.
Pup, check it out.
Okay, red belly.
Your first red. Oh, she's like tree.
All right, it's actively getting dark on us, so terrible video, but nice red-bellied snake on the way back to the car. Under 10 that I never find anything under. Well, that's a great way to start the night. Beautiful little barking tree frog, neon green. Nice spotty one too. It's a gorgeous frog. This is one of the things Matt was hoping to see tonight. Oh, hello. We'll just get him out of the road and keep cruising, hoping for a pygmy. All right, first snake of the night, red-bellied snake. Still pretty pale. And here's another barker. This one's a little bigger. Gorgeous, gorgeous tree frogs, as always. It's the biggest brown snake I've ever seen. Man, we are not having much success with the target snakes tonight, but we're finding some common guys at least. All right, everybody. Well, the cruising tonight was pretty dead, but it was cool to get to see at least one of those baby timbers. I wish we could have seen more after they shed, but the timing on that is always tough. And there was a lot going on with the hurricane, and I have some other stuff going on at the time too, so I couldn't get out as soon as I wanted to. But yeah, what an awesome couple weeks we've had. I know this is going to be like a little bit of a time skip here at the end, but I think I am going to wrap this one up after this because I did want to include the baby timber after it had had its first shed and grown a little bit. It's crazy how big that thing was already. All right, everybody. Well, Hurricane Helene has, needless to say, had some pretty devastating effects on the southeast over the last couple days. Huge condolences to everybody who has been impacted by this storm in a negative way. It was clearly very serious, and this is what I have to deal with. Minor flooding close to home, not even up over the roadways or anything, but it's very close. But I am going to actually walk around and just assess the damage. I think this is the highest flood stage we're going to reach finally 2 days after the storm. I'm hoping that we might actually see some displaced snakes that have been flooded. You can see there's actually a cow killer here, or a velvet ant. These guys have a pretty gnarly sting, but they are supposedly pretty docile unless you pick them up. But once again, not something I see very often. I'm assuming that guy probably got flooded up here. So we're gonna walk the margin of this flooded area and hopefully see a snake or two. Oh, the yellow jackets are not happy about the flood. I'm gonna keep my distance from those guys. So keep in mind, we live in an area that was not very seriously impacted by this hurricane. And this is one of my neighbor's driveways, completely underwater. Hopefully they don't have any serious flooding damage, but just an example of how bad things are here and how much worse they are in other places. Somewhere underwater right there is the stack of 10 that we found a king snake under a week or two ago. Snakes do pretty well with flooding, so I'm assuming that snake has found high ground, maybe even gone up one of these trees if he's still around. But just interesting to note that there is in fact a stack of 10 right there that we found a king snake under less than 2 weeks ago. Well, it's very, very early to be seeing an adult spotted salamander, and I think we can probably attribute this guy's presence to the fact that where he wants to be is completely underwater. Could just be that the extreme rain brought this guy to the surface, but being that we're right on the edge of the floodplain, what I'm assuming happened is he probably got flooded out of his burrow and came up here to seek higher ground. Ambystomatids do like floodplains. They don't like being actually, 10 feet underwater. So very, very cool. First spotted salamander we have seen in a long time, probably since like March. And it's a nice adult too. Very nice orange spotting. And if you're new around here, you're going to be seeing plenty more of these over the next couple months as we move into fall and winter. And right here in the road is the turtle we don't get to see very often, an eastern painted turtle. There's actually a DOR painted turtle behind me too, but this one isn't live. And like I said, not a turtle we get to see up close very often because they're very flighty when they're in the water. They like to bask from very far into the body of water, so you don't really get many opportunities to try to catch them. Really, the only time we see them up close is like this, crossing the road. But a very, very pretty turtle. You can see why they're called painted turtles. They have a lot of beautiful red markings on them, and even more so when they actually come out of their shell. But very nice. We'll get them out of the road.